shortly.
And hello, Wanda.
Fantastic.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, everybody.
Ahoy, let's
Oh,
go.
look at you all pouring in one by one. I love it.
Would like to redisclose that I am recording this for the record.
That is perfect. No, it is much appreciated. Thank you for helping Blaze out in such a manner. And it actually saves my life little stress because I was thing. So once you said you're recording, said even better because I was just going to write down the participants. So that's even better. Make sure that we are in good position. I would like to be on camera myself. Perfect. And then let me make sure the Jitsi, I'm going to keep that, or I'm sorry, the IRC, just in case we still have people hanging around. Otherwise, welcome to everyone. Tanner, obviously, welcome. Sai should be here shortly. Speaking of, now that Sai has given me first and last name, I'm going to be able to update him to the website, so that's perfect. Get that squared away. We can get the Wikipedia updated. Everything will be good to go.
Well, how are we all doing this evening?
I'm good here.
Yeah, I can't complain. Bears won, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. We don't get that very often, so it's nice to go into bye week 2-2.
I am hungover and sunburned. I just came back from the Folsom Street Fair.
Sounds like a good time.
Saw my quota of naked people for the year.
Here in California, that's like, oxymoronic.
Yeah. Oh, it's
That's
always
not
a fun
yearly
time. I
quota,
used
that's
to
a
actually
daily.
our company. Yeah, our company used to sponsor the Folsom Street Fair. We had a booth there for like 4 years running, and that was always fun. But it's like I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore because it's just an all day thing.
One moment, everyone. I will be right back. Sorry about that, gang. So we do have everyone here. Welcome, everyone. I did just text Rowan. Rowan will not be in attendance tonight, so I apologize because that means Illinois once again will not have a rep tonight. So otherwise, it does look like we have everyone. Thank you for Montana and North Carolina and Idaho for all joining us. We appreciate the attendance. We appreciate California and Florida and Massachusetts. Everyone, thank you for being here. We can't have a pirate party without participation, so I appreciate you guys for all attending. Then ZMEF, ZMEF. If you could ID for the record, we would appreciate it, and then we'll get the meeting started.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, yeah, it's Zach Fosdick from Central Illinois.
Oh, Zach, you're a lifesaver. I can't believe you showed up. That's incredible.
Yeah, I tune into the YouTube all the time. I just I was running a little late this evening, unfortunately.
Zach, you have no idea what a lifesaver you are, because I was just apologizing for Illinois having a lack of a rep today. So you could not have popped up at a better time. That is fantastic.
I felt a disturbance in the force.
That is awesome. So that being said, Illinois does have a rep. I'm proud to say we have quorum and we're ready to rock and roll. So I think the first order of business we could talk about, if we wanted to talk about it, would be Indiana and California statuses. I mean, both states are currently on probation. Both states, I don't think, need to be on probation, to be honest with you, but that's going to be up to you guys. Just wanted to have a quick chat, see what's going on, see how everyone's feeling, or if there's any other old business we wanted to cover, if we wanted to wait for a live stream to talk about it. We do have guests here, obviously, from North Carolina. James, I don't know if you wanted to take the floor and introduce yourself a little bit more. If you were looking to start a pirate party of North Carolina, I actually think that would be a better place to start. Since this isn't a live stream meeting, it's a little more open, a little more free flowing. So if you wanted to kind of introduce yourself, I'd love to see how we're starting off.
All right. Hello, members of the Pirate Party. My name is James Wynn, and I'm a registered unaffiliated voter in living in the state of North Carolina. And in the last 9 years or so, I've self-described myself as a third partyist independent. And only starting it this year, I've actually been increasing my contacts with third parties across the state. And I actually ended up finding out about your party server through someone on the Reform Party's national Discord server. So I decided to check out what the Pirate Party is, and I actually ended up stumbling someone on the Pirate Party, and I asked them about whether or not they had a North Carolina affiliate of the Pirate Party, and that person did say there have been previous requests of someone to create a North Carolina Pirate Party, but there is no official Pirate Party in North Carolina as far as they were aware. So I figured, hey, why not make a North Carolina Pirate Party for them, because people have been demanding it. So I'm just here to fulfill a demand.
Well, it's much appreciated. And actually, you'd have no idea how much of a demand you're filling. So one of the key things needed for a pirate party in your state, and any state, and this goes for, since we have reps from Montana and Idaho here as well, you're all doing the correct thing, and that's showing up to meetings. As long as your state has a rep at PNC, that is more often than not one of the most important things for a state pirate party, because your state has an active voice, has an active vote. And more often than not, people either don't think they have the time or really don't have the time to commit an hour on a Sunday night to show up to a meeting. And if you happen to have that hour, and not even an hour, because these meetings sometimes run 15 minutes, sometimes they run an hour. But if you have the time, that is huge to your state party. Otherwise, you will need a website and you will need social media presence. But otherwise, we are a party of state parties. We don't try to dictate how your state party should be ran. It would be foolish to think that the Montana Pirate Party or the California Pirate Party would believe the exact same things across the board. California and Montana are different states. Likewise, the Illinois Pirate Party is going to be different from the North Carolina Pirate Party. So, as a North Carolinian, what your job is, so to speak, would be to say, I'm taking Pirate Party ideals and what the Pirate Party stands for, and I'm applying it locally. I'm applying it to my state. And understand that even within the state of North Carolina, the Charlotte Pirate Party is going to look different from the Winston-Salem Pirate Party. Like every pirate party, the more local you get, the more localized your pirate party gets. Until it gets to the individual, because where there is one person, there is a pirate party. So if you feel so compelled as to make it so that your state has representation, because mind you, if a pirate party just so happens to be a couple of people in the state that say we want to promote these ideals of the party, we believe in the party, maybe you want to run for library board or school board, and you say I think that this is something I want to work towards, and I think pirate next to my name will be something I could look back at in a few years and say, no, I don't regret that. I'm glad I ran as a pirate. Then this is the movement for you. This is the party for you. We don't ever want to pretend that we're this sharpened, polished political machine, because we're not. We're your neighbors. We're human beings. But we're human beings who our fingers are on the pulse of what's happening in this country and what's happening in our communities and what's happening in our states, and we want to make a difference. So, I could sell you on the ideals of, what the Pirate Party was founded on. I could talk about copyright and patent reform, and I could talk about, in 2012, we adopted hacker ethics that have now gone beyond we don't see like hackers in the party widespread, but the ethics remained. And I think that that's an important aspect of the Pirate Party. So all of this to say that if you think the Pirate Party is right for you and you are committed to showing up every Sunday to a PNC meeting, you are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for your state party. If you have, and now mind you, to ultimately get a state party going, you can't just be you. Ultimately, you do need at least one other person. We recommend two other people. But if you have at least one other person that can be an alternate rep and can show up, and you have people that are committed to saying we like what's going on and we want to continue on. We at that rate, I would say join the party, get going, have one of those people show up to a PNC meeting. And when you guys have a website and you have social media, you have the people, the only thing that's keeping you from being an official pirate party is one of the already members of the PNC saying, "Hey, we will endorse their nomination. We will sponsor their membership into the party." And it's really as easy as Illinois or Florida or Arizona or anybody just making a motion and everyone accepting it and bringing you aboard. So the process is not complicated. I actually this movement is very, very free flowing, and for some people it's not their cup of tea. For some people it's exactly what they're looking for. So James, I hope I answered your question on how to get a pirate party started a little as efficiently as I could have. I know I rambled a bit, but obviously I've been involved with the pirate party since, well, I've been actively involved with the pirate party since 2018, or I'm sorry, since 2020. But I did send an email to the former Captain Liz in 2018. So sometimes I will consider my involvement as far back as that. So obviously I like the cut of the pirate party's jib. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. So if you like it too, then we're happy to have you aboard.
So, for social media, does it have to be like specific social media, or can it be like any social media, like for example YouTube?
So historically speaking, we usually just said like if you have a Twitter or Facebook, that's perfect. Obviously now Twitter has kind of fallen into dark times, and we don't really expect you to use Twitter as your main recruitment source. However, if you have a social media account where your visibility is being shown and you're actively participating, if it's a Blue Sky account, if it's a YouTube channel, if it's an Instagram, if it's Facebook, whatever. If it could be any social media, as long as there is at least a social media campaign to promote the Pirate Party of North Carolina. That's really all that matters. And also, just for the record, and I've been exploring it, and we would have to I don't. It might require bylaws reworkings, which is why it may not happen. However, I've been kind of an advocate for like regional pirate parties being members, and if that was the case, Montana and Idaho could just come on immediately. Uh, but that might require a bylaws change, so I don't know if that would be viable at least right now. However, it to me that makes sense. But I just I want you. I'm putting that out in the ether because I want it to be in the ether for future reference. Sai, thank you. Actually, you wouldn't believe it, but your reminder from earlier worked because now I can bring it up. Gang, we've been talking about it forever, and I'm sure it's going to be officially voted on next week when it's over live stream. However, I would love. Uh, that's it. I have a Fifth Amendment right, Jester, and I'm not going to comment on that. However, clean water, I will comment on. If you look in the platform committee, we I put out a Etherpad because we've been talking about clean water for a while now. Ever since the Supreme Court decision, where they effectively gave a green light to corporations to pollute a little more heavier than they've already been allowed to. I've been decrying and pleading that clean water and water in general should be on the Pirate Party platform. It's a no-brainer. Pirates for water. It is one of the. It's one of the. That is the title of the through the spyglass I wrote on the issue. So we should really adopt a clean water plank. And I did take Dustin's recommendations. When I posted about it, he had his comment, and I took that to heart. And when I wrote out the platform, I try to make it as ready to be copied and pasted as possible. So I cannot, as the captain, bring that to the table because it would require a motion or at least someone from the platform committee to bring it forward. So I'm not asking tonight because I would like to have a fuller house, which we typically do on the live stream nights. However, next week, any of you, PNC members, and then Blaze, you can go ahead right after. If any PNC member could please take that Etherpad and just bring it to the table so we could discuss it next week, I would love to get this going because I haven't had anyone speak against the platform plank. I think I put out a poll said if you guys think this is ready to go to PNC, vote here, and there was no one voted no. However, I know that's not democrat. That's not democracy to be like, well, I put out a poll and no one said no. So I do ask that the proper channels get taken. So if someone who is a PNC member who agrees with it, don't just do it because I'm asking. If you agree with what I'm saying and you think it should be adopted, please bring it to the board next week so we could, properly get that going. Blaze, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm late. Work was a killer. Uh, First of all, anything did I miss? Did I miss anything much?
No, I think you popped in and pretty much heard everything.
Okay.
We have full quorum. We have, you can see the full house. Wanda recorded the beginning bit, so if you need anything, Wanda, I'm
I,
sure you're still recording, aren't you?
please,
I am
please don't
still
stop
recording.
recording. Please don't stop recording because
Yeah.
I'm in my car. I can't record. So, please.
Excellent. No, yeah. So we have a recording up to this point, and we will continue recording for your benefit.
And second of all, I would like to say that we can, like, I don't, we can vote on it, but at the same time, like, I think just like here in Arizona, it's not just clean water that it's important. It's also water itself because water is so hard. It's like, for example, like 70% of our water is like going to alfalfa and stuff like that, and there's still development problems, in that houses are keep getting built and built and built, and then we look at it and it's like, do we even have the water for that? And it's like there's lack of resource collection with water here. That's like what are we doing? So I feel like we need to make not just clean water, but water itself.
Well, Blaze, I'm glad you bring up that issue, because obviously when we talk about water, we can give a blanket statement about like, oh, we have to protect water. It's a common, which is where I went with it, where I said, water's the commons. Uh, but when you do live in an area where water scarcity is a problem, and you're continuing to build up and up, and you have to ask the question, where are we going to get the water for this? I feel like that issue probably should be addressed more thoroughly. Now I will ask, is that, and this is a broad question, I guess, for everyone, is that a case where the national position should be a little more vague so the state by state basis can really be put into play? Or do we just try to cover as much as we possibly can with the national statement? Blaze, go ahead.
I would say we be specific with our proposals, not just a vague we need to protect water, but what specifically sort of policies we need to invoke, like like not wasting water, for example, not having policies that deliberately waste water. If you're deliberately wasting water, then there'll be like a fine or something like that. Just an idea.
I do agree with you. I mean, I posted the Etherpad as is in the comments, so if anyone wanted to reference it, like I said, I don't want to actually put it to a vote right now, just because, truth be told, if it's going to come to a vote and get adopted to the platform, I would rather that be on live stream. I would rather the world be able to look back and see how that process came about, and that we discussed it properly and went through the proper, we didn't just say, hey, here's our water platform, go Pirates, that we actually put some good thought into this. So the Etherpad is available. Historically speaking, and this is how I anticipated going with us, to be honest, is anytime a platform gets sent up from the platform committee to the PNC, we tweak it and then send it back for further tweaking. So I'm not expecting this to be adopted right away. I right now I would just like it to be seen, discussed, but I would like it to be adopted sooner rather than later. But obviously we can't control that. Blaze, go ahead.
Here's an idea. Just thinking out loud. Maybe we can form a water committee and like have people join it and develop the law that way. Not law, but you know what I mean. Proposal.
So what you're proposing isn't unheard of. It's just that, typically speaking, so the thing with platform committee is we used to have a platform committee meeting every Monday. And when we would have committee meetings, we would usually just provide we actually still probably have it listed in the pinned comments. But we had just all these ether pads of different topics to talk about. And historically, just on a Monday, someone would be like, hey, can we really talk about this? Or whoever was chairing the meeting would say, can we discuss this? And platform's been idle in recent years. A water committee really wouldn't be a bad idea if we're trying to work out the specific platform plank. And in general, just keeping a water committee may not be a bad move. Just be like, hey, we have a committee, so eyes are always on water and what's happening in water news. So in general, the more I'm talking about it, the more I kind of like the idea, Blaze. I'm not against it. But yes, I actually, for sure, I would like to get this on the platform. Once it's on the platform, I think the committee is a natural follow-up. However, that again, is that the cart before the horse? Because do we want the water committee to work on and write the platform? I don't know. Any comments on that? Does anyone have any opinions on a water committee? So Wanda then Sai.
I think we have plenty of inactive committees. I don't know that a water committee would be particularly active, and that's my concern.
That's real politic. Thank you, Wanda. Sai, go ahead.
I am along those lines. Water,
You are muted.
or sorry, is that better? Water is considered a resource conservation issue. Can you hear me?
You are still muted.
No, no, I can hear him.
No,
Oh,
you can hear him. What?
I can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear him as well.
I hear him too.
Oh, why am?
I
Okay,
can
go
hear him
ahead.
too.
Speak. I'm sorry. I think.
Okay.
Jolly
Yeah,
Mitch
okay, I'm
not
sorry. That
being
was
so
me.
jolly.
To reiterate, water falls under a resource conservation issue in my mind because air pollution is just a valid issue as water pollution because it's the same pollution. Air pollution turns into water pollution. You're right. We already have enough committees, and Greta Thunberg is kind of heading up the activism component. But it would be a good idea to focus on resource conservation in general. Precious metals, for example, copper, silver, gold, are just as important to not waste and to not pollute as water. So I think that would be a better platform position in general, to not just focus on water, but of all the resources we should be conserving, that should be at the top of the list.
So I agree, and I will say the one thing that should be said is, as the Pirate Party, we have the perfect opportunity to label the natural resources as the commons. It is literally, it's no different than the wiki commons or any commons. It is the people's. We share this. It's who owns the world? We breathe the same air and swim in the same water, drink from the same water. These are the commons, and as the Pirate Party, I think protection of the commons is a slam dunk no brainer. So that being said, when we adopted the Pan American plank, it was originally just one plank, and we ended up adopting it as two separate planks, where it became the Pan Americanism plank and the foreign policy plank. So if this ends up being a case where we have the commons and it covers air, water, minerals, everything, or if we have the commons and water specifically, however it ends up being, I like the direction this conversation is going. Jester, go ahead.
Thank you, Mitch. You can hear me, yeah? Fantastic. Okay, so I do think the one thing that should be brought up, especially in any conversation on water, is on the not only state but federal government's willingness to basically sell off of our public water resources for pennies on the dollar. I mean, Nestle, for instance, owns several water aquifers throughout the country and only paid a couple cents on a dollar or even just a few dollars for permanent ownership of it. And now Nestle gets to profit off of the water that should be publicly owned and then gets to sell water bottles for tons of profit just because of that. So I feel like any conversation about water and water access to water and its resource as a resource, both for the country but as a community, we'll need to take Nestle into account. Thank you.
Thank you, Jester. And for what it's worth, I do agree. I think a condemnation of companies like Nestle, if not Nestle specifically, I'm not opposed to it. Uh, Frankly, I think it should be done. That's yeah. Thank you, Tanner. It actually that's plain and simple. Nestle is evil as fuck. Uh, Really though, I'm glad we're having this discussion. And I would like to invite everyone to. I may actually, for the sake of trying to get it back in motion, I might just ping people tomorrow to say there's a platform committee meeting to try to continue this conversation to get the ball rolling, because I do think the skeleton that's on that etherpad now is good, but everyone bringing up these different points is going to lead to a more fleshed out and a better platform position. So I am probably gonna. I'm just gonna host a platform meeting tomorrow. I may even post a Jitsi meeting, Jitsi link. If not, we might be in Discord voice. Who knows? Uh, James, I do understand you were having some issues getting into the server. If that is the case, and we do have it on Jitsi, uh, more than likely it'll be the same room as it is today. If it happens to be a different room and I decide to create a different Jitsi server for the platform meeting and you wish to attend, I'm more than happy to send you that link or ensure that you get the link regardless. Uh, and on that same note, I'll continue to have conversation with you, James, about the North Carolina, because if you said you had some friends that were interested as well, I'd love to, figure out what we can do for you. Otherwise, is there anything else we wanted to discuss today? Wanda, go ahead.
Since Indiana is present, it may be a good time to discuss Indiana's probationary status.
Sure thing. You guys can go ahead with the conversation. Is there anything? Me personally, I've said this, I believe, every meeting since Indiana's been present. Indiana's present again. So the probationary strike has been rectified. So I'm personally okay with taking Indiana off probationary status. Frankly, I'm also okay with taking California off probationary status too. I feel like, uh, you know, Darren, obviously, I don't think you can commit to every Sunday, but you are here, and you guys are in fantastic shape. So I wouldn't consider California to be on the verge of not being a party or anything like that. But I'll obviously I want to leave the floor open to anyone about the status of both parties. Want to go ahead?
For clarification's sake, bylaws require a state to be on probationary status for a month before that status is reevaluated.
Thank you for staying true to the bylaws, Wanda. I appreciate you. So I apologize to California. Just keep on keeping on. I suppose what some tells me you guys are on probation as a formality, Darren. I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect this to be a longer than a, the minimum status.
Well, I think we're about to get a lot of attention.
I'm sorry.
That's one thing that I think we're about to get a lot of attention here in California because we're a couple of friends of mine and I decided like how can we poke the bear kind of thing. So we're starting up a website to help inform trans people of their right to the Second Amendment and how to get a gun. Uh, we are also showing Californians, because California is not an open carry state. The only way you can carry a gun is if you have a concealed carry permit. And luckily, the Supreme Court has made it a lot easier for that. So we've got a whole. I'm going to put up the preliminary links in the chat, but it's basically a checklist of how to obtain a firearm, how to get past the background check, and we've got another section that's just for San Francisco because it's so onerous here to get a concealed carry permit. And this is all going to be put on its own website. A few of my trans friends have designed some logos and things like that. It should be sometime in the next week or so that we put it live. Don't worry, everybody will hear about it. We actually have one of the local newspapers is going to run its story on it as soon as we this SF Standard. I talked to them yesterday, so it'll be interesting.
Fantastic. Thank you, Darren. And let me just say that armed minority is harder to oppress. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I just decided that my only real retirement plan should be trying to get the government to kill me. So.
Oh, like a real pirate you are.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darren. That's much appreciated.
I'm gonna have to cut out here. I've got to go get something to eat, but you guys keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Darren. You have a good night. Safe sails. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Did we want to continue discussing Indiana's status? Is there anything about? Is there a motion to change the status of Indiana's status? Do we have any discussion whatsoever?
I wanted to ask if our representative from Indiana has anything to say on the matter.
Jester, go ahead.
I think I've made my points clear in the last few meetings we've had regarding this. My opinion on the matter, at least as a refresher, is this decision is up to you all, and I will recuse myself from voting on this matter. It's up to the rest of the party to decide.
Well, with respect to your decision, Jester, obviously when it comes time, Indiana will be considered an abstain vote for the status of Indiana's, position. Uh, and again, I will say if it doesn't need to happen tonight, if anyone wants to make it happen tonight, they can. They can make the motion. If you guys want to wait till next week so everyone can see it on live stream, you can do that too. However, as captain, I don't believe Indiana's status as as a probationary state, is necessitated anymore. So that's just me. I will take either that motion or a motion to adjourn, whatever comes first. Wanda, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to restore Indiana to full member status.
And do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Do I have any objections? You know what? I'm gonna go down the line for dramatic effect. Blaze, I do know you are driving. If you can say yes or A or nay, perfect. So Arizona votes A. Florida.
Aye.
Illinois.
Aye.
And Massachusetts.
Aye.
Well, Jester, Indiana, you are no longer the dirty state. You are clean and active and not on probation status anymore. So, Hoosiers, welcome back. We missed you. It's like you weren't even gone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. And with that, I only ask one more time for a motion to adjourn so we can wrap this up with a bow.
Motion to adjourn.
And do we get a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Do I hear any objections? I hear none. Sai, I'm going to make sure to get the website updated so you are reflected as the PR person for the party. Otherwise, there's no further business I have to say as captain. So as of 9:45 Eastern, this meeting has ended. Thank you all so much for attending, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow if you can make it to the platform meeting. And otherwise, I will see you all next week. Thank you all for coming. Vote Pirate. Victory is ours. I almost forgot my big thing. Drew's not here, so I almost forgot. God damn it, I love this party because we, the Pirate Party, the United States Pirate Party, believe the U.S. should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said. And if purchasing isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. That's the sign off. Folks, have a good night.